Hi, I'm Chas with Chas's Crazy Creations, and for just a couple dollars, I created a spring sign for my home. Let's get started. Today, I'm teaming up with my friend Cynthia over at Create with Cynthia. Please be sure to check out her YouTube channel as well. I'll drop that in the links. For this project, I started with this sign, which I found on clearance at Dollar Tree for 50 cents. I had also found this Jello Mold at a thrift store. I'd had it for a while and wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it, but it was perfect for this project. I would also be using these 2-inch folk art stencils. I placed my stencil on the first square, and I wanted to make sure it didn't move, so on the edges I used stencil tape to hold it into place. I would also be using folk art home decor chalk paint in the color Nautical for this project. Using my plaid stencil brush, I loaded up the paint onto the brush, then offloaded as much as I could onto a paper plate. I then moved my paintbrush up and down over the stencil to put the paint onto the sign. The reason for the offloading is you want to get as much paint off so that it doesn't bleed underneath the stencil, and the pouncing part on top helps it just go to the places you want it to go. Once I had the paint on the way I wanted it to, I carefully removed the stencil. I skipped the second square as I'll be using that later. On the third square, I placed the letter M stencil, put the stencil tape to hold it in place, and repeated the stenciling process with the paint in my stencil brush. I then repeated the same process with the letter E on the last square of the sign. I wanted my Jello Mold to pop just a little bit more, so I used some of the paint and painted the inside heart in the Jello Mold. I let that dry completely. I then took a blue Sharpie and just colored the edge of the heart. To give the heart a little extra shimmer, I used Dragonfly Glaze. I used the color Violet, Blue, Green Shift. I painted the Dragonfly Glaze on over the top of the heart and then let it dry completely. It added such a nice, beautiful shimmer. Once the sign was dry and the heart Jello Mold was dry, it was ready to put the piece together. The second square of the sign naturally had a wreath there, so I could have just left this as is to create the word home. My husband bought me this USB charged cordless glue gun, and I'm a super big fan of it. It's so fun and so easy to use. I used it to adhere the Jello Mold onto the second square to create the word home. I'm a big fan of seasonal decor, and I love it when I can leave something up for 3 months, and this sure did fit the bill. I'm absolutely thrilled with how this turned out. I hope this inspires you to create a spring sign of your own. Don't forget to check out my friend Cynthia's post. I'll drop that in the links as well. I'd love it if you'd subscribe to my YouTube channel and my blog. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.